So let's talk a little about what happens when you're in quiet with tinnitus, because what happens is my patients come in and they say, oh my gosh, my tinnitus is so loud when I go to bed. I hate to say it, and there are some little fluctuations, but usually the tinnitus stays pretty much the same volume, maybe fluctuates within a decibel or two. But here's what really happens. So there's a cycle. What happens is when you go to bed or when you get up in the morning, you sit there in the quiet, and whether you consciously or subconsciously think about it, you hear your tinnitus or your tinnitus. And then you think about it, and then it gets louder because you're thinking about it. And then you think about it more, and it gets louder. And so it creates this cycle, and it just kind of feeds on itself. It's like this downward spiral of loudness. And so that's what happens at night or when you're in the quiet situations, and that's why patients say, oh my gosh, it's so loud when it's at night. And so that's when sound therapy is amazing. If you just listen to music, if you just put on a sound machine, if you just open a window, and let in some of those external sounds. And if you have a hearing loss, the same thing applies with wearing your hearing aids. If you put in your hearing aids and all of a sudden you open up your ears to these external sounds, your brain has all this other stimulus to think about. So by simply just allowing in these other sounds for your brain to think about, you immediately cut off that cycle. And so that's something to think about if your ears are ever starting to kind of cycle is, are you acoustically in this dark environment where you're not hearing these other things? And what can you do to open your ears to other sounds? So that's a really quick, easy sound therapy trick. If you have access to it, definitely allow those other sounds in, and that's going to help you a lot. So there's your tip for the day.